what's up, love muffins? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 8, Episode 2 review. So before we get into tonight's review, I have some behind the scenes tea for you all. It was released earlier this week, 2 new Housewife franchises. The first one, which will be debuting in January of 2016, is The Real Housewives of Potomac. Here is a first glimpse at the cast. It's an all-black cast. And the cast reminds me of a bunch of Tina Knowles, Beyonce, A Different World tease. Potomac, because I didn't know what the fuck a Potomac was, is in Washington, D.C. or Maryland. I'm sorry, Maryland. And then the other franchise, which will be debuting also in 2016, is Dallas. So there will be a Dallas Real Housewives of Real Housewives of Dallas. So be on the lookout for those. You can actually watch the trailer for the Potomac Housewives right now on bravo.com. Okay, so let's get into my review for tonight's episode. So we start off exactly where we left off last week with Kenya and Sheree arguing at Cynthia's hour launch party. And what's her name? Kenya apologizes to Sheree for calling her bitch ass, which I found hilarious. Then Cynthia and Peter start talking or whatever, and his drunk ass just cannot handle the heat of his scandal at his little nightclub back in Charlotte. Like, it's just too much on him to deal with everybody attacking him for what the fuck he did. But nigga, you fucking did it. Get the fuck over it. Apologize, repent, and move the fuck on. And so he tells her that him and Kenya got into it and basically blames Kenya for it, when in all actuality it was his fault. And you know, Marla, like, I mean, this nigga better watch it, because we all got on 5-inch heels and we would go for that ass. And I was all the way here for Marlo having girl code and sticking up for Cynthia. And so then Peter goes on to say to Cynthia that he was not checking for her little moment when she descended down the steps. I'm like, nigga, get into it. Get into the life of her 40-year-old glamorous, fit tone, chocolate body. Like, don't hate because you ain't got it. Don't hate because she's successful in something and your black ass ain't. So you gotta be careful who you call your mate, who you call your husband, because he is a hater. Then we switch to the debut of Kim Fields. She made her debut on tonight's episode. She got her peach. She was in the opening credits on tonight's episode. And I was just still shocked at the fact that Kim Fields, aka Tootie, aka Regine, is on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, I guess we all need to check. I guess them directing gigs have slowed up a little bit. I was just shocked by it. I would never personally do reality television unless it was my own personal show. That's really pretty much the only way I would be interested in it. But hey, that's just me. So Kenya goes by to see Kim, and they're talking, and Kenya says, you know, I can't believe how good Hollywood has been to us. And Kim Fields looked at her like, what was it? What you say, girl? I mean, Hollywood has been good to me. I don't really know how well Hollywood has been to you. That was shade. Just her facial expression alone was shade enough for me, which was hilarious. Then Kenya goes on to say, well, you know, where are your skates that you wore on Facts of Life? And she was like, they're in the Smithsonian, which is you know, a huge museum for all the, you know, phenomenal things that have happened to celebrities and dignitaries and royals over the years or whatever. And so Kenya throws shade and says, or maybe eBay. Okay, Kenya girl, you trying it, bitch. Don't come for Kim Fields, because she's just so sweet. You don't even want to shade Kim Fields, because she's just like too sweet to even be on the show. So Kenya was throwing shade as usual. It just become a part of her snitch nowadays. I don't even trip off when she throws it, but be careful when your ass get it back, young lady. So then Kenya says, you know, I have my little show that I did a pilot for called Life Tours On. I would love for you to come on as a director. And Kim Fields looked at her like, girl, I ain't getting involved in that bullshit. Like, I have gone and directed shows that actually have aired on television. What I look like trying to work with your D-list ass. Like, girl, no. So the behind the scenes tea also on Kim Fields and her husband is that her husband is supposed to be on the down low. And we'll get back to that later on in this episode. Just let that marinate in your soul. So then we sees Cynthia after the party, and she just looks down and out and just, oh my gosh, she just looked like she had been traumatized, like she had just been over there going through it, honey. And she's on the phone, or she's Skyping with her business partner about the event. And she said, I mean, I know that we have a business relationship, but I just basically this bitch just needed somebody to talk to because her and Peter have been going through it. She tells the girls about her, her and Peter's problems and how they, have this long distance relationship nowadays. And she just breaking down and crying. And I have been there, honey, where you ain't got no business talking to certain people about your love life, but you just need to vent because you don't really have anybody in your life that you can really trust to just be open with where you're at. And that's how you're going through it when you talking to your business associates about what's going on behind closed doors. And she, goes on to say to the girl, I just want to get away. And Lord knows I have been there when you want to escape your own goddamn house to escape the problems that you're going through. And that is a bad sign of being in a bad relationship when you want to escape the place that you're supposed to call your sanctuary, your home. So that's not a good look for Cynthia. I'm praying for her. She got to really sit down and make some decisions in her life about, is Peter the right person for her? Because it's become apparently clear since her first season of being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta that Peter is a hindrance instead of a support to her. Then we see Sheree, and she goes to Kandi stores, tags, and with her daughter Kaylee, which we have not seen. So that little girl was like 7, 8 years old, and I just cannot believe how much time has flown by. And this girl is damn near a grown ass a fucking adult woman. I'm like, God damn, like she was just little. Like we getting old, y'all. Like Jesus Christ, have mercy. So her and Kandi sit down and she just want to know, is Ken always like that? Because I ain't got time for it and I will go to jail dealing with this bitch. And Candy's like, yeah, she's normally like that. That's just Kenya. She really rubs people the wrong way, but hopefully y'all be able to work this thing on out. So then we switch over to Phaedra and Cynthia, and they having tea. And Phaedra brings up what Mal told the ladies about how Cynthia isn't attracted to her husband. And Cynthia was, of course, caught off guard by it, but she handled herself well. And she just said, you know what, I'm not about to talk about this. That's a private matter. You could tell in the back of her head, she was like, I cannot believe my sister sit up there and told them girls my goddamn business, and I will deal with her ass the fuck later. To me, it was basically Phaedra trying to get back at her for her coming to her on, what she said to her last year about, I've heard that you might be having an affair. This is just a rumor going on or whatever. It was some tit for tat bullshit, which was childish of Phaedra, but whatever. Teach his own. Then Phaedra goes on to say, I've been in your position. And when I was in your position, I felt like I didn't have anybody that really had my support. And I was like, okay, here she go once again, digging a knife into Kandi's back, acting like Kandi wasn't there for her when she was going through what she was going through. And we'll get to that in a minute also. So, Sheree and Kandi are talking about, Phaedra talking to Nene about her, feelings towards Kandi not being there for her. And Phaedra co-signs like, I found that to be quite interesting that she would go to Nene of all people to talk about y'all relationship. And I 100% agree with that. Like, why would you go to Nene of all people to talk about you and Kandi's relationship when you and Kandi are supposed to have been really close, tight friends? Even outside of this show, they were like on some BFF type shit. And since Phaedra's first season of this show, Nene has done nothing but attack her. She acted like she didn't even know her. Like they didn't go to school with one another. They didn't grow up in the same town. Like she dogged Phaedra. She's dogged Kandi and all this and that. And then you decide to go to this woman who basically gave you her ass to kiss for the first 3 or 4 seasons of you being on the show to go and talk to her about Kandi. I could see Phaedra go to talk to Cynthia, Porsha, anybody else but Nene of all people to go and talk to about Kandi. Now Nene handled it well. She didn't dog Kandi in that aspect. She always says her go and talk to Kandi about your issues or whatever. But I just felt like Phaedra was 100% wrong to talk to Nene of all people about an issue that she has with Kandi. And that's my view and my standpoint on the issue. Let me take a sip. And Phaedra once again states how she feels like Kandi did something wrong to her. And I was like, what? Like, what show am I watching that she ain't watching? Because I ain't seen where Kandi did anything to her, but we'll get back to that. So Kim Fields introduces us to her family. She has two lovely boys and her husband Chris. And when Chris was on them steps holding that baby, he was like, "Mommy," like Lord Jesus, please don't let the rumors be true about this man, cause girl, I don't. Maybe he's just really effeminate. Maybe he's metrosexual, but my bell is ringing. That's all I got to say about that. So Kandi talks to her team about her baby shower. And Ty then brings up once again this issue with Phaedra. And he was like, well, if you invite her, can you make sure that she bring my money? And once again, I'm like, Ty, stop trying to put this girl in the middle of you and Phaedra's issue. That is between you and Phaedra. She wasn't a part of this deal. That was you and Phaedra's deal. And someone last week underneath the video said, well, why didn't he go and talk to Apollo about it? Now, I don't know if he went and talked to Apollo about it or not. But at the end of the day, that wasn't Apollo's job to give him the last of the money. His deal was with Phaedra. That was a Phaedra and Todd issue, not a Phaedra and Kandi, not a Kandi and Apollo. That was not a Todd and Apollo issue. It's between Todd and Phaedra. And as business people, you have to handle it accordingly. Don't bring your spouses into issues that you have with one another. Once again, that's my opinion and how I feel. We'll get back to that later. So Lauren announces that she's pregnant, and I was like, congratulations to Lauren. I don't know if she even has a baby. I think she might be still pregnant. And then Porsha goes on to tell her mother how she hasn't been really able to talk to Lauren about Luke, and about Duke, because she really don't like him. And I'm like, shit, Lauren is smarter than you. Lauren already saw that shit from a mile away. That shit wasn't gonna work out. That she was being a goddamn big dummy, standing behind this little ugly ass nigga that looked like he got hooked on phonics apps. He got a hooked on phonics app on his phone. Like, girl, bye. Don't nobody want to talk to you about that dumb ass shit. Like, she got a baby on the way. Don't nobody got time for you and your thought ass activities. So, Porsha has her meet my nigga party. And she invites all of her family and friends and castmates. And Lauren comes out and, she was saying how she wasn't feeling well again. And if y'all notice and watch it back, Porsha rolled her eyes at that girl. She is so not happy for the fact that her sister is pregnant before she is, which really shows you a lot about Porsha. So I just noticed that, she was just pulling out all the stops for a nigga that she has known for fucking 5 minutes. Like, she act like this nigga is her husband, like they married, like they've been together for 10 years. You doing all this for a nigga. You ain't even been dating 6 fucking months. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, she was going so hard to get a ring that her ass never got because they already broke up. And judging based off this part, it's probably the reason why he broke up with her ass. And then her workers, her group of people that she has working behind her, they all talking to Phaedra and them, and the little fat guy basically says, I heard that he was in the porn stores, and then it comes up too that he's been seen on pictures with transgender women and this and that. And I'll be honest with y'all, when he walked through that door with his friend, I don't know. My gaydar just read to me like that was his boyfriend. Like, it's something about him that once again my bell was ringing, and that's where I'm gonna leave that at. Duke looked like Luke. God damn it. What else? So as the party's going on, Duke and his girl boyfriend were over to the side. They was having a little conversation. He's like, man, like, this is too much. I wasn't expecting all this. And his girlfriend slash boyfriend slash best friend slash BFF slash roommate was like, I mean, girl, just stay. Don't leave. Don't embarrass her. I mean, shit, just stick with it. Don't even act like, it's really bothering you. Just stay. And he like, all right. But he was ready to fucking go home. You know how you was a kid, you was at somebody's house and you wanted to go home in the middle of the night and you couldn't, and you just cried because you wanted to fucking go home. That's how Duke ass was looking. I felt so bad for him and so embarrassed for him. And then at the end of the party, this dumb bitch pulls him to the side, gives this all obnoxious ass speech talking about, I'm sorry if I'm talking weird, I bit the side of my cheek. So anywho, talking about how he is the trophy man of her life and how she wants to give him a trophy. And she actually gave him a trophy that was inscribed, inscripted, and everything that she had made. I was like, this Girl is fucking insane. Who does that? Like, what? Like, nigga, this ain't Drake's own trophies. Like, what the fuck is wrong with Porsha? Like, oh my God, this goes to show you, girl, young ladies out there, that you could be a badass bitch on the outside as far as your physical looks, but if you ain't got shit up here, it's gonna be a hard time for you in this world. Because Porsha is a visually stunning woman. She has a beautiful shape. She's gorgeous, but it ain't nothing up here. It's all space and opportunity up in this motherfucker. So then at the end, Phaedra comes by Kandi's house to talk, and it's so awkward between them two. Like, it's so awkward. I was uncomfortable. And Kandi says to Phaedra how she basically pulled away from Phaedra after last season, and immediately she gets to crying. And you know, I hate when Kandi cries because she gets to sound like a lamb and a sheep and shit when she cries. And Phaedra says to her that, you know, she felt some type of way because she was out one day and somebody ran up on her talking about some, you know, I want to buy the bikes that you got at Kandi house and some bullshit. So basically she was feeling some type of way because Apollo was able to leave his bikes and stuff at Kandi's house. Well, this once again goes into spouses, people, the couples being friends with one another, because this wasn't an issue where she needed to been mad at Kandi about it. This is an issue where me and my friend and now our husbands are friends. So as Todd being Apollo's friend, he allowed the bikes to stay there. Who's to say Kandi even wanted that shit there? But as a friend, he was doing a favor for, Todd was doing a favor for his friend. So this really wasn't so much an issue between Kandi and Phaedra. It was mainly an issue of my husband and your husband are friends, and this is something that them two niggas came up with. Now, one thing I would say, if I was in Kandi's position, I would have hit her up like, girl, you know, Ty letting him keep these bikes here. I'm just letting you know, that's between them niggas. I don't really want to have nothing to do with it. That's what I would have did if I was in Kandi's position. And then Phaedra goes on to say that the feds came to her house looking for these bikes or whatever, and she didn't know where they was at. And Kandi then says, you know, I think that the feds was coming to your house for a lot more than just some fucking bikes, which I 100% agree. Because let's all keep it 100. You can't sit up here and tell me that Phaedra didn't know nothing about what this man been doing since he got out of jail. That bitch was in on it. That nigga took the rap, and I stick by that and I stand by that. Once again, that is my opinion, and this is how the fuck I feel. So, she says that, you know, she felt some type of way about Kandi attacking her about not taking the kids to go see Apollo at last year's reunion, and that she angered to be spending more of her money to take her kids to go see their daddy, when if he really wanted to spend time with them before he went to jail, instead of going to the strip club all the time with Todd, he would have spent more time with his children. That I 100% as a mother agree. Nigga, if you cared that much about your kids, but first of all, you wouldn't have been doing the illegal shit that your ass is out here doing. And second of all, before you left and went to jail, you should have been spending every moment, every second with your children. At the same token, I feel like as a mom, you shouldn't keep your kids away from their father. I don't know if I'll be running up and down the highway neither to be rushing to go see that nigga. But if she's portraying to her family and friends like, yeah, I'm taking the kids to go see their daddy. I'm gonna make sure they have a relationship with their father. I'm gonna take them to go see him. Then stick to your word. If you're not gonna do it, then just say that. I'm not gonna fucking do it. Nigga, you can talk to him on the phone all day, every day, but other than that, I'm not gonna do it. Just say what you gonna do and mean it and stand by your word. So then Kandi brings up the Ty situation about Phaedra owing Ty money, and she says, I paid him $25,000 to $30,000 and I'm not going to give him any more since the product didn't come out. Well, if he did the job and you still owed him money that was left in the contract or whatever agreement y'all came up with, pay that man his money. If you are standing by, you don't owe him no money, then you need to talk to Todd about that, and Kandi needs to stay the fuck up out of it. Then they cried everything, and Kandi leaves. I mean, Phaedra leaves or whatever, and Don Juan comes in because he came in on the end of their conversation. He was like, I mean, how weren't you there for her when at the end of the day she knew this nigga was a criminal when she married him? And I damn near want to jump through the damn television screen and high five the fuck out of Don Juan, because you want sympathy for some shit when, bitch, you married this nigga fresh out of fucking jail. I mean, let's keep it all the way 100. You knew what this nigga was when you married him. Ain't no way in hell I'm about to marry some old whatever that nigga was out here doing, thievery ass nigga, and then sit up here and be shocked about it when this nigga get caught up on some thieving ass shit again. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't sit up here and cry wolf when some shit go down. And at the same token, I 100% agree with Don Juan at the fact of she was going through what she was going through. Yes, nobody could take that away from her. It was a hard time. But at the same token, Kandi was going through something too as well. This boy mama died. Her mother was having issues. Her and, the shit with Ty mama before she even passed. Her own marriage was struggling at the time. She was a fucking newlywed. All this shit was going on. At the same token, Phaedra wasn't there for her ass. Phaedra's one of them friends where it's all about me, 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 me. And the first time you ain't there for me, you ain't a fucking friend, which is a bunch of bullshit. She has not taken out the time to be a friend to Kandi. So what the fuck? Kandi ain't calling her ass out on every move that she has not, every thing that she hasn't come through as a friend for Kandi. So it's a bunch of friendship ass shit. And this guy, why you gotta be careful who you call friend, who you call your man, who you let into your life. You cannot give these titles to any and everybody because people will disappoint you. And the longer you get to know a person, the more you get to see about their character and who they are and their personality and their morals. Because the motherfucker will tell you anything, but over time, their actions always show you who the fuck they really are. I want to also say, I give tonight's episode an A+. I thought it was a great episode. But one thing I will say about reviewing and doing commentary on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and this is why I've been saying this is my opinions and how I feel, is because I've noticed out of all the series that I have ever reviewed, the Real Housewives of Atlanta have some goddamn me hardcore ass fans who really go the fuck in and act like they know these people, like they talk to them on the phone every day, like they BFFs, like they family members and this and that. These people don't know you. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about this. Is their job. This is what they do. They're here to entertain. Y'all are way too invested in people that are on the fucking television that y'all don't talk to on an every goddamn me basis. I halfway don't even want to review the shit no more because it's just too serious for some folks. I do this for strictly entertainment purposes, to make people laugh, to give my opinions on things. When I turn this camera off, I go to my real job as a author. This is a hobby for me. So I need for these people that are like diehard fans that are just going way in and doing way too much and way too invested, and people that are on a television screen, to get your life. Take a nap. Go to sleep. Wake up. Pray. Go eat something, goddammit. Go exercise. Talk to Jesus. Call your Jehovah Jireh. Do something, goddammit. Write in the diary, goddammit. Get a hobby. Get a man. Get a woman. What the fuck? Y'all do way too much. Nene Leakes ain't thinking about you. Phaedra Parks ain't thinking about you. Kandi Burruss ain't thinking about you. Kenya Moore ain't thinking about you. Cynthia Bailey ain't thinking about you. Like, get y'all motherfucking lives, goddammit. It's a fucking television show. Please. I just want to spill that. So I will see you all tomorrow for my Love and Hip Hop Hollywood review, as well as my Black Ink Crew Chicago review. I didn't review Empire last week because the shit was fucking whack and horrible. So that's that. Love you all. Have a good night. Bye.